We're going to talk about Zoe Kravitz, and this, you can't win anymore, guys. Do you remember when we were younger? Lydia will understand, especially because she's closer to my age than Miracle is. My parents said be careful what you put on the internet.
Yes.
Now, they were usually speaking about this in terms of like, don't post stupid pictures of yourself partying because future job employers might find it. What they didn't realize was that your employer doesn't need to go looking for it because mentally insane people on Twitter will go look for it for you.
Yep.
So this proves that you can never be woke enough. It is impossible. It is a never-ending well, and you are always a viable target if you go against the narrative. And she didn't even go against the narrative. She went against the general consensus in Hollywood right now is that what Will Smith did was wrong. Right. She echoed those same sentiments. So it says Zoe Kravitz is trending after she shaded Will Smith for, I love the term shaded. It's just so like this writer, Leah Muhammad might be, she's either a boomer trying to use current lingo or she's much younger. So it says Zoe Kravitz is trending after she shaded Will Smith for assaulting people on stage and people began circulating her past comments about then 14-year-old Jaden Smith, which, by the way, if she were a dude and these roles were reversed, never work again.
No.
Or at least not beyond direct to DVD or direct to even, she'd be working for, if she was a he, she'd be making movies for Tubi, and she would not be working in this industry at this level anymore.
I agree.
It does not hurt that she looks the way she does. She is
It's looks.
I'm just being honest.
It's
she
true, yeah.
She is I was talking to a friend who was like, I watched all of Kimmy and I hated it the whole time, but she's just so attractive that I just kept looking.
I mean,
like that's to her credit.
Yeah.
So it says during the esteemed awards show on Sunday night, Will took to the stage and smacked presenter Chris Wright. We all know this. So they talk. They break down about Jada, who's been married to Will since '97, has spoken openly about her alopecia diagnosis. Since 2018, Chris was reportedly unaware of the medical condition when he quipped on stage. That is interesting. I did not know that he did not know she had a condition.
Yeah.
So that means like he has even less of a reason to be pissed at, to be smacked.
Yeah, exactly.
So Jada rolled her eyes at the joke, and then we get down here. Will Smith apologizes. We're just taking you through it again. And social media users have remained divided on the Will versus Chris debate, while several celebrities and every celebrity, by the way, is throwing their hat in this ring. It's really interesting. The guy the doctor who they based the character from Will's movie on concussions, the movie he made about CTE, was like supported, like thought it was great what Will did.
Interesting. That's interesting. I don't like that.
So it says, debate, several celebrities have chimed in to share their take, the latest being the Batman's leading lady, Zoe Kravitz. Jumping into Instagram last night, Zoe shared 2 photos from the memorable night she captioned with some indirect, very shady remarks. Love it. Firstly, posting a picture of her on the Oscars red carpet, vapid and self-obsessed. I love how she's like, to get my 2 cents in, I must also include a photo of me.
A picture of myself.
But then again, if I looked like her, I probably would too.
Yeah,
who am I to tell her that when you look like that, you can't post all the pictures that you want?
Yeah. Well, she's not the only celebrity who posted weird things about like young kids in the celebrity. We'll get
to it. So it says, here's a picture of my dress from the award show where we are apparently assaulting people on stage now. She shared a second photo from the after party hours later, captioned, and here's a picture of my dress at the party after the award show, where we are apparently screaming profanities and assaulting people on stage now.
That's hilarious.
Which is like really Gen Z snark. Like they talk as if they're on Twitter all the time. She would never be this clever in the real world. Right. None of these people would. I wouldn't. Not. They wouldn't. Very few people are actually that clever in the real world. It's the trope of and then everybody clapped.
Right.
You say something and then you imagine everybody's like, yeah,
go get him.
So it says, leaving no room for misinterpretation. Zoe then responded directly to a fan who commented, "You don't support him defending his wife?" She wrote, "Nope. She does not." Which, says Zoe, however, comments quickly sparked backlash after several Twitters began drawing attention to several problematic moments from her past. There's that word. Problematic. If I could physically kick that word into another dimension, I would, but I can't. Yeah. I'm not capable.
That'd be nice.
We should get a sign and then kick it.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
You should Office Space that shit.
Fans called out Zoe, who's been universally loved across social media in recent months. Only for so long, my friends.
Yep, turns out.
It will always come back to get you. You are never going to be. Very few people remain. I've even seen people be mean about Keanu Reeves, and he's almost as close to universally loved as possible. So she's being called out for her close relationship with designer Alexander Wang, who has been accused of sexual harassment and assault by multiple people.
Guilt by association.
There's there's also the accused part there, not convicted,
not even
meaning
proven.
that unless somebody actually followed through and they were taken to court and he was actually convicted in a court of law, I hesitate here. I hesitate. So it says Alexander initially denied the allegations in a statement shared early last year, calling them false and fabricated. However, he went on to express regret for his past behavior in another message issued months later. My guess it's more like he felt bad that they didn't realize that the situation was, So it says, it was not easy for the alleged victims to share their stories, and I regret acting in the way that caused them pain. So he admitted to it. He wrote on Instagram, while we disagree on some of the details of these personal interactions, I will set a better example and use my visibility and influence to encourage others to recognize harmful behaviors. Remember Aziz Ansari?
Yeah.
And the date from hell?
Right, yeah.
Where that's the vibes I'm getting from this.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like he's admitting it. It sounds like he's saying, I'm sorry that this caused them pain.
I'm sorry that we interacted the way we did and you felt bad and that you didn't like
exactly.
it. Yeah, like that's he's not admitting to any criminality.
Yeah.
It's very and then of course he bows down to the progressive altar and says, and I will recognize and influence and encourage my free behavior, which is by the way, you should always read whenever you read a celebrity. I don't care who it is. I don't care if you support them, you don't support them. When they say stuff like that, you should read it in a snide and derisive tone because they do not mean it.
No, of course not.
He does not care. It's like celebrities who are activists for certain causes. They don't care.
Yep.
You have to go very few, and you have to go up and above, up and over to prove to me that you actually care about this stuff when your life is all about public image.
Well,
so,
his PR rep wrote that.
Yes.
He didn't even write that.
It is like it's a golden age for public. The other day I was like, where are all the publicists? But I think it's a golden age for publicists.
Oh yeah.
Because all the publicists are going to the people with the worst Twitters. They're like, I can smooth this over for you.
Fix this.
We can rebuild it.
We can.
We have the technology.
Yeah.
In light of the allegations against Alexander, several users condemned Zoe for proudly parading their friendship. She's not being friends with him. She's parading their friendship while also slamming Will for assaulting people. Well, the difference here is there is no actual physical video of Alexander Wang of assaulting anyone, whereas there is very, very clear evidence of Will Smith smacking the living crap out of Chris Rock.
Yep.
Yeah.
It says, and several users determined to dig into Zoe's past. It wasn't long before her comments about the 2013 interview with V Magazine resurfaced on Twitter. I want to also point out that there is no such thing as resurfacing. This is not a plant that you
water.
put. You don't water it and then it sprouts up in the spring.
Right.
Some dude who has so much free time on his hands decided that he doesn't like her for what she said about Will Smith because maybe Independence Day is his favorite movie of all time. And he's like, not on my watch. And he goes to Twitter and then they start scrolling and they scroll and they scroll and they scroll and they scroll. They're like, we can leave 15 and over. I mean, things have been pretty politically correct since then, but holy crap, I bet you there's some gold from 2013 and earlier.
In the last 10 years.
So it says during the interview, Zoe who was 24 at the time, made several suggestive remarks about Will's son, Jaden. If we had like a creep alert thing here, we would put it up there. It said several suggestive remarks about Will's son, Jaden, who was then 14 years old. I also want to know why he's behind a large stimulus check.
Is he? Oh, yeah.
I have no idea what it is, but it looks like a large stimulus check.
What the
It's
heck?
Jaden Smith. He's the same boy that tweeted, "The sky is pink."
Yes.
He's so strange. I don't
There were
understand
so this
him.
is her quote. Oh God. There were moments when I was hanging out with Jaden and thinking, I can't believe you're 14. She said this. I have to check myself, like what I say to you, she said.
I will say maybe she just didn't want to swear in front of him.
Nope.
Like-
I know. We're continuing, and I saw the
So
rest of it.
when I read the first part, I'm like,
Okay,
give her the
that's
benefit of
fine.
the doubt.
Yeah.
Maybe
Nope.
she just doesn't want to be rude.
No.
Or maybe Will's parents have like a strict no F word policy,
Right.
but she had the misfortune
She
of
goes
continuing
on.
and she goes on. He has so much personality and so much swag. He is so much cooler than I am, and he's so handsome. I was always like, when you're older, we'll hang out.
Ah.
Nope, that's inappropriate. You're 14,
Oh,
she said.
like-
no.
This is like Kristen Teigen when she.
Chrissy Teigen.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you
Creep alert.
Nobody
What the
remembered
heck?
that. Nobody remembered that. They just glaze over
so
it. She was
creepy.
All the
talking.
creepy stuff she sends to people on Twitter.
Horrible.
It's so creepy. Like talking about a little girl that way, that creeps me out. But
It's
Zoe
everywhere.
Kravitz is not the only celebrity who done that. You remember when Millie Bobby Brown, before she was 18, she was hanging out with Drake?
Yep.
And
Drake's
then
disgusting. Okay.
Yeah,
Don't
and
start
then-
on
I mean, we
Drake.
had the Olsen twins had a countdown to turning 18 on MTV. This is nothing new for
Yeah.
It's not
a
new. Yeah.
truly disturbing industry.
And then another thing, not far away from the Smith family, Willow Smith was hanging out with a guy that's like twice her age in the same bed as her.
No.
And they posted it
I remember
on
that.
social media. And nobody talked about it after that. It was only talked once and then glazed over.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
It's disgusting.
So it's just I love the online baggage. This is cancel culture. Essentially, what it is you say something, and then they dig through your social media posts and mischaracterize.
Yeah.
It is middle school behavior personified, and we have given the inmates fresh run of the asylum. And you know what? On one hand, I have to say that these people are lame for actually caring enough to take the time to do this. But on the other hand, it's like I'm very, very, and I say stupid stuff, but I'm very, very careful with the way that I conduct myself. Mostly, I'm here for the memes.
Right.
I guess you could say that I post some spicy memes from time to time, but even that, there's a chart basically. It's like once it gets to here, that's a send to a person meme, not a post, online meme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there
Agreed.
is a zone there.
Yeah,
Not
100%.
because I don't think that it's true, but because I don't want to deal with the weirdos who have enough time on their hands to send me a message because they want to puritanically control my behavior.
Interesting.
But
yeah.
when you live in this realm, this is what happens.
You have
So
to know that. Yeah.
I wonder if she was sitting back and she's just like, man, I hope nobody remembers that creepy shit. Like, because once it's there, it's there. That's not going anywhere. She'll live this down. This won't hurt her any. James Gunn said far weirder shit.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
That was weird
he was
stuff,
fired by
too.
Disney for all of 2 weeks. Got hired by DC. Did 2 DC projects and then went back to Marvel to make Guardians 4
Yeah.
or Guardians 3. So it's like whatever. But it's like in the meantime they have to put up with it. And then this is kind of what's happening to Jim Carrey right now. So we have this thing. You especially wanted to
Yeah.
talk about Jim Carrey. So it says Jim Carrey calls the Oscars audience spineless for Will Smith's standing ovation, which was an interesting take because he wasn't talking about the incident himself. He was talking about the way that the
Audience
public
response,
responded to it. It says,
yeah.
Jim Carrey has something to say about Will Smith's behavior at the Oscars. While appearing on CBS Mornings, Carrey said that he was sickened by the standing ovation. Hollywood is just spineless en masse, and it really felt like it was a really clear indication that we aren't the cool club anymore.
Okay, stop. Is he wrong?
They haven't been the cool club in a long time.
That's true, exactly.
Yeah.
But they're spineless, right? 100%.
They are.
Well, this ties back to Zoe Kravitz because she's afraid of getting canceled too.
Yep.
It ties back to everyone who's afraid of getting canceled, like with the case of Ezra Miller, the police who don't really want to prosecute
And
him.
these people will do the same thing to other people. I mean, I don't know about Jim Carrey. I don't necessarily. Jim Carrey's got weird political views that
Yeah,
I don't
he
really.
does.
I don't care about
Whatever.
that. I love him as
He's
an
right
actor.
about this.
I can he's one of the ones where I have the blissful ignorance. I just ignore what they say about that stuff. But this stuff, Zoe Kravitz would turn around and crap on anyone.
Oh, I know.
In
I
a
believe
heartbeat
it.
to make their career.
I hope that this is a red pill for Jim Carrey. Hopefully.
I just don't
I
see
doubt it. But
I-
hey, you never know.
Yep.
Never know.
So, and that even that term is kind of loaded, where it's like maybe it doesn't make him realize anything about the world at large, but realize just how damaged that industry is.
Yeah.
It
I
says-
hope he joins Ashton Kutcher because Ashton Kutcher
He's
left
very
Hollywood.
red-pilled, yeah.
Same thing with Elijah Wood. He left Hollywood because he realized how corrupt Hollywood
Bad.
was.
Yeah, well, Adrian Curry did the same thing. She's
Rick
like, I'm out.
Moranis. Well, Rick Moranis did it to raise his kids, not because of Hollywood.
That's admirable too. That's fine. Get it out there.
Carey also said that Smith should have been arrested. But Gayle King pointed out Chris Rock declined to file charges. They do not need Chris Rock to file
still arrest
charges
him.
to arrest him.
That's assault.
All they need is physical evidence, is proof that it happened, and they could have done so. Then we get back into the idea that it does not matter because no way they're going to arrest him for something like this. He would have had to kill the dude to be arrested for this.
Right.
They're not going to have, or he would have had to like knock him out.
Yeah, in view of everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it says, he said, he didn't want the hassle, Carey said of Rock, who was slapped on camera by Smith after the comedian made a joke about Jada Pinkett Smith's appearance. I'd have announced this morning that I was suing Will for $200 million because the video is going to be there forever. It's going to be ubiquitous. That insult is going to last a very long time. So if you want to yell from the audience and show disapproval or say something on Twitter, you do not have to. You do not have the right to walk up on stage and smack somebody in the face because they said words.
He's right. 100%.
But in the age where words are violence, it is what it is.
Isn't it so interesting that actual violence isn't violence to them anymore, but words are? Like, this assault, they don't even consider it violence.
So he says, I wish him the best. I really do. He continued, I don't have anything against Will Smith. He's done great things, but this was not a good moment. It cast a pall over everyone's shining moment. Wow. Breaking me in with where's Andy when you need him?
I know, right? That's a great word.
A lot of people working really hard to get to that place, and that's the thing. He made it all about him.
Yeah, nobody's very selfish.
Not even just the Oscars. Nobody's even talking about Ukraine anymore.
Yeah,
they're really
very selfish.
But then here's where we come into the point where, just like what happened with Zoe Kravitz, somebody doesn't like Will Smith's take on it, and you get this. Boom! Video of Jim Carrey forcibly kissing Alicia Silverstone at awards reemerges.
It's like floated up from the bottom of the ocean.
It's like resurfacing. It just magically appeared.
Bubbled up.
It'd be cool if Twitter had like an algorithm like to keep you in line where every time you say something it doesn't like, it just says, would be a shame if we sent this old post of yours to someone. So it says, Will Smith slapping Chris Rock on the Oscars stage on Sunday night has sent reverberations through Hollywood, and now Jim Carrey is one of the latest stars to find themselves facing backlash for sharing their thoughts in the incident. You are being punished for having an opinion, is what they're saying. You're being punished for having an opinion.
Right. Yeah.
So it says that first they talk about what he said about Will Smith. It says social media users are calling Carey out for his behavior after the Dumb and Dumber star condemned Smith for his actions during an interview with CBS Mornings on Tuesday. What I also want to point out here is I'm not religious, but it reminds me of the he who is without sin cast the first stone.
Mm-hmm.
And all of these people are basically taking the approach that I'm not famous, so I can I can bring this up, and they're not wrong.
They're not wrong.
But it's the industry's fault for using them as viable sources. Like, just ignore them.
Yeah,
you don't like what I have to say, just ignore me. That makes perfect sense.
This is why I get so This is why I get so freaking bent out of shape when they make articles about tweets. I'm like, this is not a real source. This is somebody on Twitter. Imagine this. They're bent out of shape.
Which is a bummer, because that's my job here. Is to take
right?
stuff that's...
that's our job. Don't steal our job.
It's literally what we're doing here. So, I get a kick out of it because it's the human condition. It's
right.
It's the world we're living in now.
Right.
So it says the clip is from the 1997 MTV Movie Awards, and it shows a then 35-year-old Carey seemingly forcing a kiss on the mouth of then 19-year-old Alicia Silverstone as he accepted the award for Best Comedic Performance for The Cable Guy. Classic movie. You should see it if you haven't. The clip shared by Twitter user has racked up more than 2 million views at the time of publishing. Silverstone's name is also trending on the platform thanks to the video. And I can just see her like,
yeah, here I go.
Time to get my victim points.
Yeah.
And she's like, I forgot that happened. Her publicist is like, no, you didn't.
You did not.
It's been haunting you for years. Mm-hmm. Say it with me. It's been haunting me for years.
Yep.
The viral tweet reads, says the guy who sexually assaulted Alicia Silverstone on stage. At what point does something become sexual assault?
If the person receiving it has no say in the matter.
So I'm saying, but kissing, so forcibly kissing would be that's so. One of the things that I always struggle with when they have these discussions is when they talk about sexual assault versus sexual harassment.
Harassment doesn't involve any kind of
they hold them to the exact same standard, which in the real world, stupid jokes that are off color and inappropriate is not the same thing as physically forcing yourself on someone.
Right.
But they're held to the same standard by a lot of these people.
Yeah, that's not correct because harassment would be like repeated, pointed, aggressive, non-physical, and then once it gets physical, that's assault.
But when they talk about these in these articles, they frame it as if it's the same thing.
Yeah.
As if one negative ironically enough, in the movie Kimmy,
Yeah.
there's a guy who like lives in like the Netherlands or some foreign country that she uses for like. God, I hate that movie, and I really hate her as an actress.
I watched
in
that whole movie, and I hate you that you didn't say anything to me until I finished.
So she in this movie, she basically she asks this guy for help, and he calls her hotness. That's his like he greets her. He says hotness. She goes, it's a sexual assault or a sexual harassment claim.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and he's like, I'm in foreign country. There is no Me Too here. And it's just preachy and stupid. But that's what, I'm going off on a tangent here. But this is like, so they're saying that he assaulted her on stage all those years ago.
Right.
The video of Jim kissing Alicia Silverstone on the mouth without her consent reads another tweet. Yes, I guess he did not go and say, I am going to kiss you now. I am picturing like one of those things where it used to be like a thing they would do in these things where somebody would just randomly kiss somebody and then they kind of push them back and both people look really surprised.
Right.
It was like a weird thing that people did in these industries. It's supposed to be kind of shocking, but both people didn't find it bad.
Like
so
titillating
yes,
or like draws in more views or whatever.
Yeah, so that's what this was clearly supposed to be. It says, a different person added, Jim Carrey is bold. Didn't he kiss Alicia Silverstone without consent and say consent? And she said she felt humiliated. I love how this person's saying like they remember this and they didn't just go looking it up right now.
Go hunting
like
it down.
You don't.
Google.
It says you shouldn't be asking this in the form of the question because you literally likely did all your research right then, and you're phrasing it in the form of a question to be snarky, and you suck.
Yeah. Also,
Newsweek has contacted Carrey's representative for comment. I love the part where the what are they going to say?
Yeah, nothing.
So you will always get the stuff will always happen to you. Jim Carrey's legacy will live far beyond these people on Twitter.
Yeah, I didn't know this.
The cable guy is a fantastic
the
movie.
Mask. Yep, also good.
The Mask is a
fantastic. All good. Yeah.
1 and 2.
Yeah.
1 and 2.
Yeah, very good.
Slinky, everybody loves a Slinky. No? Anybody?
No.
All right. Well, the point of the matter is these industries are rot. And you are going to be torn down by people on Twitter. Now, it's funny. I keep bringing up I think mean tweets on Jimmy Kimmel was the best thing Hollywood ever did for themselves. It made them seem human, where they took somebody said this generically evil or awful thing about them, where it's like so-and-so looks like this, and then they insult their looks, right? But you're insulting their looks. You're not insulting their past behavior, or second-guessing the things they've done with their life, right? So it's like the best thing that they could have done is to maybe it's like my point was like when they did those segments, celebrities started to like clap back at Joe Schmo Twitter user.
Yeah.
Just don't engage. Just you don't look like a man of the people now. Now you just look like a dick with millions of followers who's sending those people after this person who just said something clever that you don't like.
Right. They at least shouldn't attach a person's name to their tweet.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Then there'd be more equality.
Yep. So I don't know. This is just one of those situations where this was the clearest example of like, as soon as you said it, instant regret. Now I tend to be like, I could say this really snarky thing in this Instagram post or in this story, but why? Yeah. Who benefit? Like what? So like the 5 people I could tell to anyways that care about me, of like the 10,000 people there or however many people are there, like how many of them actually care about what I have to say about something not related to like skating? So it's like whatever. So then the 5 people that care will see it. But then the people that are really offended will make a big deal about it. And what's the point?
Yeah.
But Brett, how am I supposed to know that you're alive and well?
If you're not posting snarky memes?
Yeah.
You can post anything. It doesn't have to be a snarky.
Right.
I know, but I need to know. Are you alive?
Is this really Brett?
Yeah.
Posting snarky memes.
Without the snark, how would we know it's him?
Exactly.
So I don't know. It's this is the job they signed up for. I suppose it makes me glad that I don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
So thanks for watching this clip, guys. If you want to see full episodes or follow us on social media, links are in the description below. Bye.